Welcome again to The Old Principal. I am the old principal, 我就是老校长. Today's lesson will be number 235, Lost Lake. Doesn't that look like a pretty place? Well, I've been there. You know, when I went on the internet and I was looking for pictures of Lost Lake, I found out that there were 19 Lost Lakes. Whoa! But this is Lost Lake in Oregon, at least one of the Lost Lakes in Oregon. So, before we get into the story, let's listen to it, and then I'll come back and explain it.
Story 235, Lost Lake. Most of the lakes in the Cascade Range were not readily accessible, but Lost Lake was right on the main highway. Being accessible meant that many people camped in the surrounding campgrounds and fished in the lake. I remember one time Dad took us there to spend the weekend camping and fishing. Youth is the time of experimentation, and our trip to Lost Lake provided my brother and me the opportunity to try drinking coffee. We told Dad that he and Uncle Keith could go fishing in the boat while we stayed in camp. As soon as they left, we went over to the coffee pot and tried drinking coffee. We added sugar and cream like the big folks. We drank many cups. Interestingly, this was the first and just about the last time I ever drank coffee. When I became a teenager, my high school biology teacher told us that coffee was not really that good for our health, so I never developed a love for it. Whereas our experimentation with coffee occurred when Dad and Uncle Keith were not around, my next experiment occurred when they were in camp. Little boys love playing with fire, especially a campfire out in the woods. I saw a gas can, and so I started playing with the can near the campfire. I was aware of the fact that the can had been used to hold gasoline, but I was not aware that the residual fumes were very flammable. My dad noticed what I was doing. He took 3 or 4 quick strides in my direction and kicked. He missed the can and kicked me. Oh, ouch! It felt like I flew about 20 feet through the air. I cried, but more out of humiliation than from pain. I don't think he intended to kick me. But I surely did learn the danger of placing even empty gas cans too close to fire.
Welcome back. Most of the lakes in the Cascade Range were not readily accessible, but Lost Lake was right on the main highway. My father loved fishing. Sometimes we did our fishing, at the ocean. Sometimes we did our fishing in other places, but we enjoyed our fishing. Cascade Range. Cascade Range, okay, 一种山脉, okay. So this, at least the lakes up in the Cascade Range, were not readily accessible, which means, of course, that when you went looking for the lakes or going to the lakes, they were not easy to get to, not accessible, not easy, 很不容易能够开车子才到达那个地方。But the Lost Lake, and this is the lake that we're talking about today, Lost Lake was right on the main highway, 主要的这个公路。Okay, so these are mountains, and so there's a main road that goes through the mountains. And so Lost Lake was right on the main highway. In fact, part of the highway goes right around the lake. Going on. Being accessible means that many people camped in the surrounding campgrounds and fished in the lake. Okay, since it was accessible, it was easy to get to, so many people, what? They camped in the campgrounds, surrounding campgrounds. Surrounding meaning 周围的营地. What is campgrounds? 露营营地. Okay, so surrounding 这个周围的 campgrounds. Okay, camping is 露营 and grounds 就是这个营地. And then, of course, if you're camping there, then what else do you do? Of course, you go fishing. And that's the reason why we went there, because we went to fish. Go ahead. I remember one time, Dad took us there to spend a weekend camping and fishing. So, what are we doing? This is a weekend, 这个周末. Okay, and we are going to be camping, 露营, and we're going to be fishing, 要钓鱼. What kind of fish? Trout, 这个鳟鱼. Okay, going on. Youth is the time for experimentation. Did you know that? Youth is the time for experimentation. Young people are always experimenting. It's a funny thing, even when you get old, you still experiment. 常常做实验 experimentation. 但是年轻人特别厉害，或童年的时候特别厉害 always trying something new, trying to see if something is good or bad. It tastes good, it tastes bad, it feels good, it feels bad. So this is a time for experimentation. Okay? And our trip to Lost Lake provided my brother and me an opportunity to try drinking coffee. So, we saw my dad and my uncle drinking coffee, and they did this every day. So, when we went to last week, 提供给我一个时间，一个机会, an opportunity, provided an opportunity for me and my brother to try 尝试 what? Drinking coffee. Going on. We told Dad that he and Uncle Keith could go fishing in the boat while we stayed in camp. See? Well, you know, I think that that wasn't so bad because sometimes parents, my father and my uncle, they had a hard time coping with this 很不容易应付我们 Sometimes they almost 忍耐不住, almost impatient with us because we were noisy and we wanted to move and we didn't want to do. So when we suggested to them, hey, let us stay in the camp, you go fishing, and we will stay here. Does that sound like a good deal? Sounded like a very good deal to my dad and my uncle. So that's what we did. Going on. As soon as they left, we went over to the coffee pot and tried drinking coffee. 他一走，他们去钓鱼。Okay, we went over to the coffee pot, 咖啡壶, okay, the coffee pot, and we tried drinking coffee. Now, I can tell you that coffee itself is 苦苦的. See, to me, I don't know why people drink coffee, but we added sugar and cream like the big folks. Now, if you add sugar, then it becomes sweet, 就变成甜的, okay? And cream made it look good, feel good, taste good, okay? So we added sugar and cream like the big folks. Now, in this case, big folks simply means 大人, okay? Going on. We drank many cups. Now, this is interesting because if I were to drink coffee now, I don't drink coffee. I'll explain that in just a little bit. But if I were to drink coffee now, I would start to shake. Why? Because I am not used to 那个 caffeine. I am not used to, 我不习惯. But in those days, we drank many cups. I don't know how we did it. Interestingly, this was the first and just about the last time I ever drank coffee. 很有趣的. This was the first time and just about the last time that I ever drank coffee. Why? Because I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I never developed much of an interest in it. It was the first and about the last time, 最后一次. I think probably only a few times, maybe one or two times, when I was driving a truck, 开大客车很困的时候, I drank a little bit, but very rarely, never. I haven't drunk coffee in 30 years or 40 years. I just don't do that. Going on. When I became a teenager, my high school biology teacher, okay, 他是生物课的老师, he told us that coffee was not good for our health, 对健康不是很好. And so I never developed a love for it. I never developed a love. 这没有养成这种习惯. I didn't develop a love. I didn't love it. I didn't like it. And so that's the way my coffee drinking habit came for one day and left and never came back again. Going on. Whereas our experimentation with coffee occurred when Uncle Keith were not around, 虽然 okay, our experimenting with coffee occurred, okay, 发生在什么地方？我爸爸、我的叔叔都不在的时候 going on. My next experiment, notice it says mine, my brother didn't get involved, okay, occurred when they were in camp. That means when they were back in camp, they had come back from fishing and they were 在我们的营地. Okay, I did an experiment and I paid a little price for it. 我有一点点付出, and you will hear the story just now. Going on. Little boys love playing with fire. Did you know that? Little boys love playing with fire. I was a little boy and I loved fire. It's just natural that little boys love fire. And especially a campfire out in the woods. 在树林的萤火. Very, very interesting. This was a time, well, you think about it. At home, you cook on a stove and you do everything on a stove and everything is so organized and works just so fine. But out there, you cook on the fire and it just was so different, so exciting. For little boys, our eyes were big like this. I saw a gas can. Okay, 汽油桶. And so I started playing with the can near the campfire. So I started playing with the can. 我跟那个汽油桶玩，靠近这个萤火. Now you can understand what might happen. Go ahead. Okay, I was aware of the fact that the can had been used to hold gasoline. Okay, so I was aware, 我知道 that this can that I was playing with had held gasoline. That means there had been gasoline inside of it. But I was not aware that the residual fumes, were very flammable. This is I did not understand. 我不知道. Residual, good word. Residual. That means the leftover, 剩余的所留下来的了. The residual fumes. What is fumes? Fumes 是一种气体. It's a gas, in the air, like the air we breathe, 所剩余的气体 were very flammable. Whoa, another big word. What does the word flammable mean? 很容易会燃烧. Flammable. If something is flammable, then it is easy to catch on fire or to burn. Flammable. Whoa, those were lots of, but I was not aware that the residual fumes were very flammable. Wow. Going on. My dad noticed what I was doing. He took 3 or 4 quick strides, that means quick steps, in my direction and kicked. So my dad noticed this. Obviously, my dad recognized that this was dangerous, for sure, very, very dangerous. And so he's thinking, well, so he took 3 or 4 quick steps. I say strides, a stride is a step. 这个几步、3步或走3步、4步 okay? In my direction, and then he kicked. 他是用他的脚踢什么呢？ Next slide. He missed the can and kicked me. He missed the can. Okay. 瞄不准啊. His aim was not too good. I don't think it was on purpose. 不是故意的. I don't think. I'll explain that. He missed the can and he kicked me. 踢到我. Okay. 踢到. It felt like I flew about 20 feet through the air. 当然这个是开玩笑 but 对我来说呢，我感到我是飞多少20英尺的距离啊。I felt like he kicked me so hard that I was just flying. Okay. I cried. Remember, I was a little boy. I wasn't a man, I was a little boy. I cried, but more out of humiliation than pain. 但是我的哭是因为丢脸，而不是痛苦。Well, I suppose 丢脸, your humiliation is 一种痛苦, but it wasn't real pain, 不是疼痛, okay? I was really embarrassed. It was an embarrassing time. I don't think he intended to kick me. 我自己觉得不是故意的，他的 intention, to intend to do something, to intend to do something 是打算去做一件事情 okay? I don't think he planned to kick me. I don't think he intended to kick me. See how you can use the word intend. Tomorrow I intend to go to school. 明天我计划要上学 okay? So intend means to a plan, something that you are planning on doing. See, I don't think he intended to kick me. But surely I did learn the danger of placing even empty gas cans too close to the fire. But surely, 肯定, I did learn the danger. 学到什么危险呢？把 empty gas cans, okay? Empty gas cans 这个汽油桶没有汽油，还是 they're empty because we've already used the gas out of the empty too close to the fire, 太靠近那个火。So, there you have it, a lesson learned fishing on Lost Lake. You know, I'm just thinking here as I tell this story about Lost Lake. This was during the time when my mother had already died. 我的母亲已经去世了. And we were little children, we were young children at the time. I was only 11 years old at the time. And so my dad and my uncle took us to go fishing. These were wonderful times. These were times where we got to understand and to love our Father because he was a busy businessman. 他是做生意的, so he was very, very busy. And we had 3 children in our home. So going fishing was a wonderful time. So many experiences in the early morning to smell the smell of the campfire, to be out in the cool air of the mountains, alone, away from the city. Wow, this was a wonderful time to go fishing. Even today, even though I am a grandfather and I don't have opportunity to go fishing, I still remember with joy and satisfaction and happiness. I remember the times that I went fishing with my father. Maybe you remember some of the interesting times that you did something special with your father too. We do have an email address. You can write to us at any time. Our email address is theoldprincipal@gmail.com. 老校长, theoldprincipal@gmail.com. And our website, 我们的网站是 www.theoldprincipal.org. Hey, it's been a joy having this time to spend with you, and we hope that you'll join us next time. Bye-bye.